Imagine you are lying in bed in the dead of night, the rest of the world wrapped in a heavy, seamless blanket of sleep. The house is completely dark, and the only sound is the rhythmic rise and fall of your own breathing. Then, through the stillness, you hear it, the faint, ghostly padding of soft paws down the hallway. A shadow glides past your open door, or perhaps you feel the subtle vibration of a small weight leaping onto the kitchen counter in the dark. It is a nightly routine that almost every cat owner recognizes. We often wake up to these midnight wanderings with a sigh of mild frustration, rolling over and assuming our pets are just being characteristically erratic, experiencing a random burst of nocturnal mischief, or perhaps hunting for a misplaced toy. We dismiss it as the classic midnight zoomies, or a quirk of a creature that refuses to align with our human schedule. But as you lie there in the quiet, listening to those solitary footsteps navigate the dark, have you ever felt that there was a deeper, almost urgent purpose behind this midnight patrol? There is a profound psychological narrative unfolding in those nighttime steps, a narrative that reaches back to the very origins of feline survival and their complex emotional relationship with the family they watch over. You see a restless pet disrupting the peace, but in the secret world of feline communication and psychology, that midnight patrol is actually a high-level security operation. It is a protective ritual that most owners completely misinterpret as mere restlessness or a desire to cause chaos. Something deeper is happening in the shadows of your living room while you dream. A silent, dedicated vigil that is about to be revealed. The real reason your cat patrols your house at night isn't a sign of boredom or a broken sleep cycle. It is a startling manifestation of how they construct their sense of loyalty and territory, and once you understand the why behind those dark footsteps, you will realize that your cat isn't just wandering. They are actively holding your world together while you are completely helpless. It begins with the fundamental mystery of the crepuscular shift, a biological programming that redefines how a cat perceives their role after sunset. To understand the midnight patrol, we have to look through the eyes of a creature that has never truly abandoned the rhythms of the wilderness. Cats are naturally crepuscular, meaning their evolutionary engines are primed to peak during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk, extending deep into the night. What many people don't realize is that when the lights go out, your cat's internal clock doesn't tell them it's time to switch off. It tells them it's time to go to work. In the wild, this is the hour when predators move and territory is contested. In your home, this instinct translates into a powerful biological command to secure the perimeter. They aren't trying to wake you up. They are answering an ancient calling to ensure that the boundaries of their kingdom remain uncompromised while the world is at its most dangerous. But that is only part of the story, because this physical movement through the dark transitions into a critical process of perimeter validation and maintenance. When you are awake during the day, the house is a bustling ecosystem of movement, sound, and shifting energy. Doors open and close, objects are moved, and external scents are brought in. What many people fail to notice is that the midnight patrol is your cat's way of conducting a comprehensive environmental audit. In the absolute stillness of 3 a.m., free from the distraction of human activity, your cat walks from room to room to inspect every single boundary. They check the windowsills to monitor the world outside. They sniff the gaps beneath external doors where outside drafts enter, and they visit the corners of each room. They are checking to see if anything has shifted, or if any unwanted presence has crossed the line while you are occupied. It is a methodical, tactical reset of the home's security map. What many people don't realize is that this behavior is also a profound display of vigilant stewardship over the vulnerable members of the pack. To a cat, sleep is the ultimate state of defenselessness. When you close your eyes and drift into deep sleep, your cat registers that you have surrendered your awareness. In their psychological landscape, you are a vital, deeply loved, but highly oblivious companion who is currently completely exposed to the unknown. Here's the surprising part. Your cat's nighttime check-ins at your bedside are often literal welfare checks. You might feel a soft nose touch your hand, or see a pair of glowing eyes watching you from the foot of the bed before they quietly slip away again. They aren't trying to disturb you, they are verifying that you are safe, breathing, and undisturbed. They take on the role of the nocturnal sentinel, actively covering your blind spots so that you have the luxury of sleeping without fear. And sometimes it goes even deeper into the concept of sensory decompression. During the day, a cat's hyper-attuned senses are constantly bombarded by the noise of television, talking, appliances, and bright light. The night offers them a rare, beautiful canvas of low-frequency clarity. When your cat stands frozen in the middle of the dark hallway, staring into what looks like completely empty space, they are using their extraordinary hearing and night vision to audit sounds we can never perceive. The settling of the house's foundations, the faint movement of pipes, or the distant rustle of leaves outside. By tracking these subtle shifts to their source, they disarm the unknown. They process the micro-noises of the night so that they can categorize them as safe. Once they have verified that the house is truly at peace, the tension leaves their posture. They are doing the hard, sensory work of sorting through the silence so that the safety of the home remains absolute. But the real reason this nightly ritual is so significant is that it represents a beautiful sacrifice of comfort. Your cat loves their soft beds, their sunny spots, and the warmth of your lap. Yet, night after night, they choose to leave those comfortable sanctuaries to walk the cold floors of a darkened house. This is a voluntary choice driven by an intense sense of social duty. They are managing the territory not just for their own survival, but to preserve the integrity of the shared nest. What many people misinterpret as an erratic or aloof nighttime personality is actually an act of quiet, selfless devotion. They have taken up the post at the edge of the darkness to ensure that nothing interrupts the tranquility of the people they have chosen as their pride. They are the silent guardians of your rest. What many owners fail to notice is the beautiful, rhythmic handover that occurs as the night begins to break. If you have ever noticed your cat finally coming to curl up tightly against your side just as the first hints of dawn appear through the window, you have witnessed the completion of their shift. As the morning light returns and they hear you begin to stir, their internal alarm system signals that the period of vulnerability has passed. The world is waking up, you are regaining your senses, and the sentinel can finally stand down. They crawl into bed with you, not just because they want breakfast, but because their mission is complete. They have successfully guided the home through the darkness, and now they can finally let their own guard down, collapsing into a deep, satisfied sleep because their human is awake to watch the world. As you begin to piece together these psychological triggers, the annoyance of the nighttime footsteps begins to dissolve into a sense of profound admiration and reverence. You realize that you aren't living with a chaotic disruptor of sleep. You are living with a master protector who views the safety of your home as a sacred trust. The shift from "my cat won't let me sleep" to "my cat is keeping me safe" is a quiet but powerful transformation. You start to see that midnight patrol as a beautiful nocturnal love letter written in the quietest steps across the floor. They are performing the essential maintenance of your sanctuary so that you can live without worry. This realization brings a new kind of emotional build-up to the way you look at your companion. The next time you wake up in the middle of the night and hear that faint, soft padding down the hallway, you won't feel a flash of impatience. You will feel a wave of deep gratitude. You will understand that the silence of the house isn't an accident. It is a state of safety that your cat has actively verified, patrolled, and earned for both of you. You will look into the shadows and feel a profound sense of comfort, knowing that while you are wandering in your dreams, a fierce, loyal little heart is wide awake, watching over your sleep. Reflecting on everything we've discussed, it becomes clear that the Midnight Patrol is a masterpiece of interspecies devotion. It is the way a creature born of the wild translates its raw, protective instincts into a shield for a domestic home. We spend so much of our days providing for them, but when the sun goes down, the roles are completely reversed. Reframe the original behavior in your mind. Your cat isn't being restless. They are being incredibly brave, navigating the darkness to keep the monsters at bay. They are showing you a form of loyalty that doesn't need words, validation, or even your conscious awareness to exist. The ending is a quiet realization. The dark hallways of your home are just empty spaces to you, but to your cat, they are the front lines of a quiet campaign to protect the ones they love. When they walk those perimeters, they are validating the security of the sanctuary you have built together. It means you have achieved the ultimate level of partnership with an ancient hunter, one where they treat your safety as synonymous with their own. It is a calm, powerful realization that changes the very atmosphere of the night. You aren't just an owner sleeping in a bed. You are the core of a pride that is being fiercely defended in the silence. As you close your eyes tonight, perhaps you'll carry a bit of that comfort with you into your dreams. You'll hear the faint click of their paws against the floorboards, and instead of calling out for them to be quiet, you'll smile in the dark. You realize that the real reason they patrol is because you are the most precious asset in their territory, and they refuse to leave your safety to chance. And in that shared understanding, as the house settles into the deepest quiet of the morning, you realize that the most beautiful sign of love is the one that stays awake to watch over you while you rest. It is a soft, steady reminder that the deep bonds of connection are often maintained when we are least aware of them. Sometimes love is found in a quiet sweep of the kitchen, a lingering gaze from a doorway, and the patient watch over a sleeping friend. By learning why they patrol the night, you've given your cat a home where their silent vigil is finally, truly honored. And in that realization, you find a sense of connection that is as deep as it is ancient. You are finally speaking their language. And in that language, a solitary walk through a dark house is the most beautiful rest easy in the world. You are finally safe at home because your silent protector is on the wall.